Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to High Top Sports. Happy Monday, happy Christmas week, boys and girls. We get a commit, we lose a wide receiver to the portal. It's been hectic. It's been crazy. Dallas Wilson obviously commits yesterday. We're going to talk about that. Zach Alberverdi, Gator Insider, will join the show. And I'm pumped to poke him a little bit today. He's going to run his little victory about Dallas Wilson, but I got a secret undercut that he may not be ready for. And I got questions. But it's not just about me and Zach today, because it is Champ's Corner, okay? The man, the myth, the legend's going to join us today. I am disappointed. I am. And I'll tell you why. No Ray Charles today. He let me down. He let me down. What's up, Mr. Eric?
How you doing, man?
I am doing well, man. Good to see you. Merry Christmas.
You said Merry Christmas. You said I let you down. But I was fooling y'all, boy.
Come on, baby.
Okay.
I was concerned. I was gonna have him put pianos in the chat if you didn't do it. Oh man.
Go Gators, baby. Go Gators, man. What a time.
What a time, boys and girls. Good to see you, my man. We got a lot to go over today. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be a great show. We pick up a big tight end, Cameron. I already forgot his name. Cameron Cosman. Cosman. We'll talk about him later on in the show. Marcus Burke enters into the trades portal. Give me my thoughts and opinions about that. The Dallas Wilson stuff obviously has been just the electric, the point of conversation for the last 24 to 48 hours because it happened at midnight.
As should be.
As it should be celebrated. Graphics went out. Paper's been signed. Good to go.
Fact.
All right. So now we know signing necessarily doesn't mean everything. Okay. So, but I feel pretty good about that. And again, Zach's gonna come in. And then I don't know, did you see the Jack Pyburn article?
No, I didn't.
I got questions.
I need to see it now because I might have answers.
Yeah. Listen, man, I tried to stay out of it. And I tried not to kind of let it should have just died.
I saw some things that I didn't like. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I was hoping it would just die and go away. Like, just look, it transferred. We get it. Didn't work out. Like, let's.
Yeah.
Why do we make it ugly?
That
This
was
to
my
me
sentiment,
is turning into one of the uglier ones, because he went and spoke with a company, and actually there's quotes. So there's no none of this. There's quotes, and we're gonna read the quotes. But I want to poke Zach a little bit because Zach wrote kind of that initial guarantee article. So we're gonna get a little bit of everything tonight. I'm excited. I mean,
that is good.
Zach,
we need to, man. We need to air it out because I don't like what I've been seeing. So I want to know.
Yeah, like I said, I was gonna stay away from it, but this to me, it's personal now. To me, like you.
Yeah.
I was gonna let you go do you, but this to me is a little more of a shot. So hopefully, when Zach decides to join us, Zach be on Zach time. We're cool with it.
Hey, we'll wait for Zach.
Yeah,
we'll wait for that.
Ain't no big deal. Look, let's talk about the first order of business. Nope, not that. Not that either. I didn't pull up a graphic for our tight end. I thought I had a graphic for the tight end. Man, I'm struggling here, big guy. I thought I had a graphic for the tight end. Well, let's talk about the camera. Did you take a look and see the tight end?
Yeah, I looked at him. Yeah.
All right, there's Zach. Thank goodness, because I had no clue what I was going to do for the next 20 minutes. I was going to be just making stuff up. No, I'm just kidding. We were prepared. Zach Alberverdi joins us, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get him in here. Ooh, my man. Hey.
Zach.
Yo.
What's going on, boss?
Look at this guy. Clean cut, clean shaven. That's why he was late.
Up,
he was getting ready for the show, baby. How you doing, man?
I'm always working.
Yeah. Especially the last week, man. You've been hustling. You've been hustling.
Yeah, man. It's no off season in Gainesville.
It's fun right now, though, right? I mean, this has got to be what you live for.
Yes and no. Once upon a time, there used to be downtime in December.
Fair enough.
The pre-transfer portal era, pre-early signing day era. Like, football season ended, and that was it.
It really doesn't stop because because again, we're going to go into this in the January, February. I guarantee you, there's going to be probably coaching adjustments, news that comes out from that time, and then after that,
I've been on the phone.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again.
Uh-oh.
Nothing. I didn't say nothing.
What's up, bro? We
Sweating.
having some moves?
I mean, yeah, they're gonna have some moves now.
Good. I mean, how's Gator Nation
Oh,
gonna
good.
take it?
Good.
Oh, awesome.
Very
Oh,
good.
Zach is feeling
thank you.
himself, boys.
Okay.
So when I asked you to come on,
I'm gonna say it. I'll say it. No, I'll say it right now. I'm gonna say it right now on High Top. Y'all will remember this.
I'm
Okay.
freaking out.
Y'all will remember this. If what happens actually happens of what I'm hearing, Florida fans will go nuts. And I'm gonna just
Oh
leave
my
it at
God.
I thought you were gonna give us a name, but I'll take it.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm not gonna give any names, but when
That's
the
fair.
No,
name
that's
comes, if the name materializes, everybody will know exactly what I'm talking about. They'll remember this on this show.
I love it.
Urban Meyer's
love
coming
it.
back. Holy shit. Can you? We gotta clip this, and all I want you to do is when it breaks, you just drop this. You just drop this clip.
We'll do that.
Zach got that look in his eye. He knows something, man. I like it though.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been there, had a chance to. I know you. From time to time you'll watch me go act like a crackhead on the show, but I've talked about you a lot here in the last couple of days because you've been dialed in, man. I was like, this is our own Adam Schefter. The guy has been on a burner with the news, and you broke, which I loved. You broke the Dallas Wilson news, right?
I broke it all.
Yeah.
That double whammy.
Yeah.
They thought I spoiled it, Shelton.
Zach said, "Welcome to the show, boys. I got you."
They thought I blew his spot.
When you
Yeah, they
released
were
the
waiting.
original
They're
one
waiting
of
on you, Zach.
the release, is that what they thought you blew?
I straight up came out and said he's going to Florida.
Yeah,
Like,
when the
there's
release-
no ifs, ands, or buts. Now I wrote plans. I wrote plans to give myself an out. You know, nothing's ever certain in this world, but that's what was happening.
So
And then when Dallas Wilson put that graphic on his IG that said "commit flip," I really kicked my feet up at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So look,
Everybody was still stressing all the days that followed. I knew what was going to happen.
we stressed though. You could see why we stressed. Now, here's what I said. Here's why I calmed everybody down because this is where I gave you credit because you directed the Oscar-nominated commitment film of Vernell Brown, right?
My man.
So I'm putting together. I'm reading tea leaves. I'm like, well, clearly
got
he
to
has a
read the leaves.
relationship with the Brown family, like this, over here directing films. So my thought process is that they came to you with the information to break, and that was the reason for your confidence. Can you deny or are you able to speak on that?
Yeah, actually, it did not happen that way.
Shit.
You gotta blame Oregon. You know, when they finally threw in the white flag, which was Wednesday night, they leaked it.
Wow.
And it got leaked at 12:38 on the Oregon On3 site. So it's technically 12:38 Eastern time, Thursday morning.
Yeah.
They broke it, technically. They didn't write a story about it. They didn't tweet it out. They didn't draw attention to it. But they let their subscribers know Wilson's out. And the title of their message board thread was Wilson is going to end up at UF. So that was how the cat got out of the bag.
So the Ducks are
So
doing
shout
sloppy
out to
work.
Justin Hopkins. So when I woke up, Thursday morning at 7 a.m. Shout out to Gator fans up late, the night owls out there. That post from Justin Hopkins was already out on Twitter and message boards, but it was still unconfirmed. It was still like he didn't report anything for sure. But that certainly opened the door for me to be able to reach out to his agent at that point, Vernell Brown Jr., and be like, hey, what's up with this? Is this true? And, Vernell's a stand-up guy, and he's going to confirm things that are happening, and that's what was happening.
So somewhat true. But the Oregon Ducks, they were in shambles about it, and they're the one that broke it. Okay, interesting stuff.
Well, it's again, man, I think that Florida in an ideal situation would have not had it leak. I would have not been able to get wind of it and report it.
Okay.
and he would have just been released, and then he would have signed with Florida, and they would have just dropped it on the timeline without anybody knowing. That's what they wanted to happen, and that would have been great for that to happen. But as y'all know, when the school that loses gets that news, they don't always take it so well, and stuff leaks out there, and they try to spoil the moment. They try to get they try to get in front of the news. And when stuff like that happens, reporters got to step in to do their jobs, and it has a trickle effect, you know.
So kind of what you're saying is like the Duck fan base, they throw a fit trying to kind of spoil the moment. That's where you come in to handle a cleaner process versus just being like a smear
because
fest.
they kind of just leaked it out. It was like a message board post.
Sure.
It wasn't anything like, hey, I'm writing a story and put my name on it and tweeting it out as official news.
Yeah,
they kind of just, it was like this cryptic, not anything official. I'm reporting official news. You know, I don't do rumors and all that stuff. Is this happening? Is this real? Is this true? Or is it not? You know, and at that point,
we call you Adam Schefter of the Florida Gators. You just straight to the point. Yeah.
At that point, Dallas was done, y'all. Like those papers were requested on Tuesday. He was done. Like, Oregon had until 4:58 on Thursday, 4:58 p.m. Eastern time to release him. They had 48 hours to respond to the request. 48. They released him at 4:37 p.m., which means they waited 20 minutes until the deadline, used all 48 hours. That is petty levels right there. So it kind of shows you
what kind of program the Oregon Ducks are. Yeah.
Look,
boy was
they felt some type of way about felt some type of way about losing a 5-star receiver that they put in a bunch of work for. I get it, you know.
Are you able to elaborate on like how that unfolded and the reason for the request? Are you able to talk about that?
Oh yeah. You know, I think that
Zach, we're listening.
Keith Niebuhr did a great job of highlighting this over at Gators Online with his insider, but I think Dallas immediately or shortly afterward probably regretted signing with Oregon.
Okay.
You know, I think he got talked into it right before his announcement on IG Live, as has been reported. I think that it was tough to tell Dan Lanning and that staff no after all the things that they'd done for him. And he kind of in the moment decided to stay loyal. But there was too many things that he needed to stay in Florida for. Obviously, there's a lot to love about the Gators and why he wanted to come to Gainesville, but he's got his family situation. He's got his grandma. And even if he didn't have any of that stuff, like going all the way out to Eugene, Oregon, when you're a Tampa kid and you're from this state and you got a chance to go be part of the culture of the Florida football program, play with guys that are from the area that you're from, that you're going to fit in with much better than you will out in Oregon. It's just like so it was all those things. And as I said on the On3 show that we had last week, very fortuitous for Florida that they got a bowl game in Tampa. Just put that out there. Like you know, my guy definitely got to spend some time around the team, and that certainly worked out in Florida's favor. You know,
solidified. You could tell he just looked at home. That the last couple of days we were obviously seeing photos of him at the game, and then went to the basketball game with Katie. And obviously we were getting a little eerie to wait for the graphic to drop, just given how things have gone for Florida.
Hey, hang on 1 second, guys. Hold on.
Oh, are we getting?
We got breaking news.
Is he going to bring out a recruit?
Yeah, breaking news.
Oh. Oh, his AirPods died. You muted your mic.
Oh, we're back. We're back.
Oh, I thought something was about to happen. I thought you were bringing a recruit in. Like I was like, this guy's bringing out stops today, boys. Now you just headphone switch. You got me. You fired up, Zach. You got to simmer down over there. So you when I asked you to come on, you're like, yeah, I need to do the victory lap. What are you excited about? Just how it all went down?
Well, it's just I had a lot of fans that were worried that it wasn't going to happen, or that like I had ruin the moment or that we jumped the gun is like, yo, this came from his agent. Like, I got the green light. Like, it wasn't like I, went rogue and said, "Oh, I'm putting it out."
Well, that was what
Like,
I was defending you. That's where my my 2 cents came. I was like, look, this Zach's a stand-up guy. He's not sending
And
this.
I teach sports journalism at the University of Florida, people, for 5 years. I know what I'm doing. And if y'all don't know that by now, I just finished my 15th year covering Florida football.
Hello, Zach.
Zach said I got time today. We here at High Top don't have a clue what we're doing. So
I got folks like Joe Cohen that vouch for me, man.
Okay.
That's why I felt confident. The fact how you wrote it,
good.
your stance on it. I was like, look, I was like, Zach doesn't steer us wrong. It hasn't, and not that anybody does, but I was like, Zach is I following you for the last couple of years. Like it's you get a stamp of approval.
Y'all gotta understand when it comes to stuff like announcements and putting news out before it should. I do commitment videos.
Yeah.
Like if anybody knows about
Oscar-nominated
news,
commitment videos,
and appreciate it. If anybody knows about holding on to news and not letting stuff get out before it's supposed to get out, and following the requests and wants and needs of a kid or a player or a parent, I mean that's all this is. So
Zach, I have so many more questions. I don't know how much time you have today.
now I'm chilling.
Okay.
The wife is on night shift tonight. You guys got lucky.
Okay. So I want to talk portal. I want to get into that. But there's a little bit of drama, and I was gonna try to stay away from it, but it's too juicy now. I can't do this anymore.
No,
you know
we need it.
You know where I'm going?
Yeah, let's talk.
Okay. So you released the pie burn guarantee list. That was your article.
That was.
Okay. Now,
which got painted as demands, which I did not write that he made demands.
Yeah, I don't
guarantees. That's what we'll get into here, because it really comes down to a semantics argument.
So and I had when I talked to Cam, because again that's where he supported you too. I was intrigued when it dropped, and I'm like, there's a reason why it dropped. Like these things, like you don't just hear it from somebody and release it like you just said. So there was reasons for why it came out. So let's talk about why it came out, and then the semantics of it. And then I don't know, did you see his recent article where he spoke to?
I've spoken to Jack and his dad. I've spoken to them on the phone. So, but yeah, he had an interview that came out today. But yeah, no, the reason it came out is because fans want to know why the hell is this guy leaving?
Yeah.
Right.
One of Florida's best defenders. He's a Gator. He comes from a family of Bull Gators. Like, why is this dude hitting the portal? And it didn't take but a couple hours after he announced the news that he was entering the portal for that $500K number to start getting thrown around. That was getting out there before I even started making phone calls.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about the money, and I've come to learn that, but those figures that were reported was what was asked for. But then there was obviously the fallout from that. I certainly did not intend for that information to end up on a tweet. And I asked that gentleman to take that tweet down, but it still lives on Twitter. It is what it is. But after talking to Jack and his dad, their stance is that these were things that they asked for. They didn't really. They're saying that they didn't ask for or make demands. I was told that they were asked to be guarantees. They don't really feel that way. The only thing that they really say that they didn't ask for is to be guaranteed to be a starter, to be the starter. That was not one of the things that they wanted. But Jack has, and I've talked to Jack, and he shared that story in the tweet that he put out and said everything that's in that story was 100% accurate, which was that he wanted to play more on third downs. He wanted to play more snaps in the rotation. Obviously, the money that he was asking for was the money that they were asking for. And that's kind of where it stands. I think he kind of, in his latest interview, basically shed some light on that. I certainly obviously stand by what I reported, but I think it's important for me to share that that's in talking to Jack and his dad. They just wanted to be clear that they didn't go in there and make demands. Now they did ask for these things, and when they didn't happen, they decided to leave. So were they ultimatums? Were they requests? Were they assurances? Like it is what it is.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But this is, as I told Jack and his dad, this is also new territory for me and a lot of us. Reporting on portal negotiations and NIL negotiations and what should and shouldn't get out there, and what do fans need to be privy to and not privy to. This is all new territory for everybody. We're all learning as we go.
This actually cleared a lot out for me. So it sounds from you spoke to them, because again, the initial thought was,
when stuff gets funky, I make phone calls.
Yeah, no, that's great. And again, so again, I know exactly what Twitter post that you're talking about, and it definitely framed it in a way that was, like you said, not written, but how quickly just a bullet point list and a certain title can just change everything. And like you said, hey, this was asked, it was talked about, and what was said clearly it wasn't liked, so they leave. So wasn't necessarily a guarantee or ultimate. That's up for you to decipher. And here's honestly, in this article, I'm going to read what he said. I actually liked this response. I was okay with it. It's later on where I'm not a fan of. He goes, "Number one reason is I just want to play for a team that fits me a little more. I was looking to play an aggressive 4-down defense, and there's nothing and that's something that Blake Baker and LSU are 100% running. He runs the attack style defense, trying to get to the quarterback, trying to create negative plays. So it was really about just trying to find a place where I'd be able to showcase my talents to the best extent and be able to earn opportunities in every regard on the field." That I fully believe, because he dropped back into coverage a lot. It's the same reason why Princely left. I said this. Those guys just want to go out there and blitz the quarterback. That's all they want to do.
And a big thing is playing on third down. Like that really bothered him and his dad. He wants to be a 3-down player. He wants to showcase that. He didn't like the fact that he was the starter, but was not playing the most snaps in the rotation. And those are the facts, and to want those things, I mean, people can feel how they feel about it, but I feel like a lot of that is reasonable. Now, whether or not you can get it or how that's going to work out is another story. And obviously, it didn't work out at Florida, but he found a school in a place that can provide that for him and make him feel like he's going to get that opportunity. That was one thing I know that Florida wasn't going to do, and that's why he moved on.
The only pushback I have on that is, like, when you committed to this defense, because although we've had changes on the defense, the scheme hasn't changed. Schematically, it's been the same. So you knew what you were committing to. I think that's how I feel. Again, I don't know what he was sold. Secondly, just the fact that he put in the effort. Don't get it twisted, but stay with him, work through these injuries, and in a way, again, like, I know he wants these things, but it's like, dude, you and Harris and I talked about it. It's like, if you were just to do the exact same thing and then some, you were 100% going to the league. And,
for sure.
And I was going to talk to Harris about this too, about the edge dropping back, because we're going into, the new world is, again, that edge position, that sexy position, the Micah Parsons, the Bozas, the JJ Watts, where it's just like, I'm 3-down guy and I'm just here to kill you. And we utilize our guys to drop back a little more, almost like an outside linebacker type. And I think it's why Childs had some success a little bit at the Gasparilla Bowl.
Yeah.
He plays that linebacker, and he was kind of fits that mold a little bit. I think that's beneficial to go to the league. You show multiversal, but maybe
versatility,
I'm wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, go ahead, Steven.
No, I was going to say, I agree at that position, just to show your versatility and drop back. At Florida, when I was there, we had the 4-down lineman. We ran a version of that where Jarvis Moss would drop back in the coverage, and we bring sim pressures and stuff like that. Or even sometimes the D lineman would have to cover, or D tackle would have to cover the running back out of the backfield on certain plays. So it's just versatility. But Zach, when you said that, at least that's what they can try to offer him. Nobody can promise that you're going to be out there on that field on third downs. You got to come in and earn it. They could say whatever they want, but I just saw they just brought in Florida State defensive end as well. So there's no guarantee. The only guarantee you can have is to go out there and put the work in. So yeah, that's that's my 2 cents on it.
Well, we won't hear the end of this because I'm sure when Florida LSU week comes up,
For
this
sure.
is going to be quite the storyline.
No, for sure.
And again, people are probably trying to hear about it. The reason I brought it up because this article was released today, so it was like kind of
no, Jack did an interview on ESPN.
shit.
So that's where that article's.
Oh, they clipped it. Oh, okay. Yeah. So he spoke
Yeah,
about it more.
So they pulled those quotes from the
Okay.
interview he did with Matt Moscona.
Okay. And so here's where I
Shout
guess
out to Matt.
my thing was like a little bit of like you took one last blow. It says honestly, I was also looking for a coach that I felt like developed parts of my game that I know I need to be focused on. For instance, my pass rush. I'm an effective pass rusher, but I want to be an elite pass rusher. And being an elite pass rusher, first you have to have an elite coach that can turn you into the product that you want to be. Fight words. Hey, that's
Go ahead, Zach.
I mean, hey, he said it.
And so to me, it's like, look, I get it, and I'm not mad about. I mean, I'm a little frustrated about it because there was obviously like the altercation with his dad on Twitter, and I don't even want to get into the drama of it, but to me, it's like, okay, I was cool with you leaving. I didn't even care that you kind of like it was a little ugly. I was gonna ignore it, but it's like this is what happened. You guys leave, and they keep taking more shots. It's like, can we just? And I get it, you got to defend your name, but you didn't have to say that. That to me is like it's personal now, and that's fine. I love it because I think this is what makes the game even more exciting when we do play LSU. It's like we better see how elite you are. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't like it at all. I thought it was uncalled for. Yeah, if you want to leave, just leave. All the extra, because if you're not going to come out and say what it is that you really felt, then don't say anything at all. Just leave. You know what I mean? Because I spoke to him, I cheered him on. You know what I mean? But then I saw the post from his dad, and I saw his dad talking about Mike Peterson and stuff. And so you're putting stuff out there that leads us to want more answers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
get more questions.
When you do stuff like that, you're leaving a program that, one, like you said, took care of you. Yes, you played with us. You got hurt. That's our job to bring you back to health. But we put you back on the field. We had a plan for you, and we wanted you back. So if you're gonna leave, don't leave and leave little tidbits behind where you're hinting at something. You know what I mean? I spoke to him. He the whole thing with the coach, I've heard it already before. I don't know exactly what it was that you didn't like, but I know in other interviews, I heard you talk about Mike Peterson and praise him for what he's done for you, getting you to want to do yoga and all this stuff. When you talked about you were stiff as a log, acting like a brick out there, and you praised him as if he revitalized you and brought you to life. Now, where your playing time is, and if that's an issue or whatever, and not being on third downs, I can understand you want to be out there.
Yeah.
But when you take a shot at the coach and not coming just from you, but from your father, I have a problem with that.
And it's business. Everyone's trying to take care of their own, and I get that. But for me, it was like, yeah, all right, let's go. I'm ready for the game now. That's cool. So
yeah, I think everybody is.
Yeah. For me, it's like where I stand at the end of it is like people are kind of wishing ill will things like on a personal level, like from who's a father of my own, like wishing another kid went to the
Jack's
best.
a great guy, man.
Yeah, on a
Jack's
personal level.
Kid.
How I look at it, in between the lines, like I'm still gonna talk smack. Like come LSU, I'm talking mad smack. You know what I mean? But outside of that, people get a little more intense with it. I don't care. Even with Trevor Etienne, we poke fun and jab. I want the kid to be successful. Like this ain't that's like I don't want anybody to fail, except the weekend you play us. It's one time a year. I just want you to fall flat on your face. That's all.
I think the best thing for anybody transferring is just ignore all the noise. Let people talk. Let them say whatever they want to say. Because the minute you say something, that's opening up the floodgates for everybody to say something and pile on. And so I would just don't say nothing. Let your agents and everybody else handle that and go play ball.
It's new territory, like Zach said. So TJ, seriously, he commits to A&M. I know you said on one of your On3 videos that you thought we could get him back. What's your thoughts on him leaving, and where does Florida go from here on the edge room?
Yeah, well, they addressed it with the UMass commit, but yeah, they wanted to keep the door open for that to potentially still work itself out. But I think he obviously went to Texas A&M and probably got taken care of for what he was looking for. And that's the one spot that became a need for Florida all of a sudden in the portal. Because going into the portal cycle, that was not one of their top 5 needs. And I asked, but it was not told the edge position. So that all of a sudden became a spot that they needed to add somebody. They really liked the UMass kid that they just added, but they also really liked that room in general. I didn't really, I guess I wasn't as familiar with Cameron James's basketball background. I knew that LJ McCray had a basketball background. Both of those guys have been playing the F position, which is the other edge position. And that's where Tyreek Sapp plays, more of a hand in the dirt. But they feel like those guys can play the other edge spot, which is the jack outside linebacker, more drop back in coverage, more stand up. They feel like those guys got the athleticism to do that. So between them having that position versatility, you adding the UMass player transfer to play that jack spot as well, they should be fine. But look, man, I mean, Pyburn and Cersei were very productive players. So, they're going to have to get something figured out to replace those guys.
Yeah, two big guys. I mean, again, people kind of we poke fun about their production, but it's like, and again, you kind of got to credit the defense and credit the coaches for elevating all those guys. I mean, all those guys went from fighting for a spot and could argue like, hey, I am now the guy. That's a good problem to have.
Well, you got George Gumps too. Don't forget that.
We never forget about.
Failed to mention him. Yeah. He's probably the guy that's going. He's going to be the guy that's starting there. So
we saw that
they got enough. They got enough depth. I mean, they should be. They had to get an edge player though. So the fact that they got the UMass transfer on board was critical.
People kind of hate on it because it's not flashy, but I mean, the kid's kind of
his tape looks good.
Yeah, Go watch. People think it's something dumb. Say go watch the film. It's like, look, he doesn't play anybody. He played Georgia. Go watch him against Georgia. Go watch how he went up against that line. I'm like, if that's what you want to see, that's what he's gonna be going up against. Could he use some development, our strength and conditioning? Yeah, but these guys that we're just talking about, Searcy, Pyburn, those are 3-star cats that weren't even considered. They weren't a big deal,
right?
And under Pyburn's coming off an ACL injury from last year. You know what I mean? Like, no, Florida looked away before Billy came in and said, hey, no, we want to offer you, and really grew into that position. Part of it is his want and will, right? I'm not taking anything away from him, but I think we've done a great job on developing that. Is there
Cersei was a little bit more highly rated. He was more he was a high 4-star guy. Yeah.
Okay. I thought Cameron James was, but Cameron might have been too. They both might have been there.
Cameron was up there.
Yeah.
I want to say like 247 had him like top 100, top 50.
Yeah. Pretty high.
He was more of a bigger name, I remember, when he committed than the Searcy's and the other guys. No, nothing disrespect. It's just kind of where they originally.
No, that's true. That is true.
What are you thinking? Some more things could happen. I mean, obviously, we all have our opinions and thoughts. I want to get your thoughts on the O-line room and what you're hearing and what you're thinking. Because from my looks of it, I mean, I think that they're trusting, and again, who they've recruited, who they've kind of brought up. Outside that right tackle, which Brandon Crenshaw was great this year. The rest of it, I feel confident with. I feel like they feel confident with it too. And Bryce Levitt kind of showed, hey, he could be the guy. Is that the feeling right now, or is there still talks of looking to add one more there?
No, they'll definitely look to add a tackle, but it's got to be somebody that's going to elevate that room and position.
That's what I keep saying.
I don't think you're going to just you're not just going to bring in someone who's a jag. Yeah, man, just a guy. Like you can't add one of those cats. Like you need someone that's going to come in and be a day one starter, no questions asked. And to be honest, that type of offensive tackle is probably still playing right now.
Y'all think I'm stupid? This I keep telling them, Zach. Sure. They just think that I'm just making stuff up. Thank you, Zach.
The portal stays open for 5 more days for players that are in the college football playoff whose seasons end after the portal closes. So just because it closes on December 28th, that doesn't mean that guys are going to keep going in. Offensive tackles, wide receivers.
Apologies accepted, guys. Thank you in the chat. I see them. You guys are having a hard time typing. Apology. I get it. It's tough on the spell.
I mean, listen, I've scoured the offensive tackle transfer.
There's nothing sexy.
There's not a lot of guys that Bird Sherrill is following. Trust me, we try to connect the dots as many ways as we can. Like, I just don't think that somebody that they would want to spend the amount of money that they would be willing to spend on an offensive tackle has hit the portal yet.
Zach, I've been doing this for 15
Yeah.
years. I've taught journalism for 5 years. This is what I've been trying to tell them. These
Now here's the risk you run,
never.
though. Here's the risk you run. It's not just that offensive tackle; it's that wide receiver. Like, you're talking to agents, you're getting a lay of the land, you are making a plan of potential guys that could hit the portal, and then you're waiting on it and banking on it and counting on it. And in the meantime, you are choosing to pass or not go after guys that are in the portal right now that maybe you could target and get on campus and offer and get on board. But you want to roll the dice and say, you know what? I think that this guy that we've been hearing might hit the portal is going to hit the portal. And when he does, we'll get him. And then you decide to play the waiting game, and then maybe you miss out on somebody if that kid ends up not hitting the portal, or he does hit it and go somewhere else, and then you miss the boat on somebody else that you could have took in the transfer portal. So it's now they already do that in high school recruiting, right? You know, slow playing guys, but this is a different type of it's crazy, man. Like I feel like they've been doing that at wide receiver this entire time. Like there's been wide receivers in the portal.
It's paid off.
Yeah, there's been wide receivers in the portal that they 100% could have offered, put the full court press on, got them on campus, and they would have committed. And they just didn't go after them because they're waiting on some big names out there that haven't hit yet.
Jonte Cook, they're asking about. There's some more super chats I'm going to get to, but Nick says, obviously Jonte Cook is the one that has been visiting this past week. We're all wondering what's happening with that one. Marcus Burke, who we were going to talk about, entered into the portal today, which when you land Serter and Dallas Wilson, there's going to be you expect attrition. I don't think anybody was losing any sleep over that one. That was kind of like, okay, good, we got an extra spot now. Let's go get nasty with it. What are we hearing about Jonte Cook?
Yeah, I mean, for everything I've heard, he loved the visit, and I think that Florida could be his landing spot. It's just a matter of, is he ready to make that decision? Is Florida ready to make that decision? I don't know. I didn't get a chance to catch up with him after his trip. I don't know if anybody has talked to him yet. So we're kind of in the dark on that one, Shelton.
Okay. Or it could be kind of what you just said. They may be trying to wait for a bigger fish. Well, we'll leave it at that. We won't go any further than that. We'll leave it on that one. So, look, I think that kind of gives us a great update on the portal of and that's what I keep saying is everyone's kind of panicking, but the portal, yes, has a date of the 28th, but it really doesn't. This thing's going to extend well into January at this point.
Florida was adding transfers 2 weeks after spring semester had started.
It never really
they
closes.
Found some NCAA rule that they could somehow get these kids into school after drop ad, and we're still remember what's the kid's name? Keontae Goodwin from Kentucky. He joined the program January 28th. There's still a ton of time left before this thing is done.
I love it. Do you got anything else? I think I've crossed every question that I had, Zach. This has been an absolute. I mean, there's probably something I'm going to go. Damn, I should have asked that question later on. But, you kind of
y'all caught me coming on here smiling at the beginning.
Bro, you were geek. Were you on a phone call beforehand about you on a phone call about something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I ask another question about that? Well, real quick. There's 800 strong and here was 900 strong. Be sure to go give Zach a follow on X, Twitter, the Bird, at Zach Already. It's down there below to keep up with him on three, all those good things. My man has been firing out the juice. Again, our man that broke the Dallas Wilson news and handle it with confidence. The news that had you geeking out before the show. what was it player related? Was it non-player related? I'll make it as vague as
it's non-player related. It's non-player related. See, I'm teasing it just so I can watch Shelton's reactions.
Yeah,
are we gonna get a video?
Listen. I'll say this. I'll add this. If this happens, it might be the biggest scream that we've ever seen from Shelton in a High Top Sports video.
Oh wow.
Shit.
Wow. Wow.
Have you seen the DJ Lagway commit video? Because that was probably the peak. I was humping a spaceship.
I'll have to see. I saw
It's a
the Dallas. I saw your one after I broke the Dallas Wilson, and that was up there.
That was pretty iconic
gonna rival
too.
that. Okay.
Yeah. So the Wilson one was exciting because like it was like a full circle moment. The Lagway one, we kind of had a good feeling. And so that was just me jumping around on a spaceship, which turned into a gift. But yeah, the screen for Wilson was probably top notch because it was ripped away from me and then gave it back to me. And
this one nobody knows it's coming. The only way that anybody's gonna know that this is coming is if it gets leaked.
Holy! Do we have a date?
Leaked. Hopefully, I'll be the one to break it.
Come on, Zach. Adam Scheffner himself.
I don't know about any dates.
Okay. Holy boys, if that doesn't get you to smash the like button and go sub to Zach at On 3. I don't know what does. I mean,
I'm about to call everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna have the juice. You're gonna get the juice.
So it's playoff or bust next year. Is what you're saying?
Gosh.
That's what you're saying. That's what you're telling me.
Oh, if this happens, Florida will be, man.
Oh man, they don't know. Zach,
I can't deal with that right now.
You're gonna get me canceled from the internet. You're gonna break me from the internet. You're gonna kill me. Well, Zach, I
hope it happens, man.
You and me both, and I don't even know what it is.
You're right.
Zach, I appreciate you, man. As always, this is.
If it doesn't happen, I'll come back on and say what it was.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, look, we'll stay in touch. Hopefully, we'll have you on and you can come do another victory lap. That's what we want to have happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the streets talking after this.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, they all in the chat and everything. Oh my god, crazy.
Yeah, it's the chat. Dave came in here because everyone was out there just, hey, shit's going down on the stream. Y'all better get over there. it's
fun times, man.
Billy's
fun
watching.
Times covering the Gators right now.
Oh, it's so fun, dude. We keep talking about it.
But between the football program and the basketball program, I'm getting some 07, 08.
Right.
I was trying to tell you. Basketball might set it off first this year again.
I think they will.
I said, hey, I go March.
I didn't want to say nothing because I jinx everything.
with the basketball team cooking in March, we're going to be in prime Lion season because our whole lineup will be locked in place. I said it's going to be egregious on this channel. I mean,
if Florida's playing deep into March and they're coming off spring football, like, oh man, the lies that are going to be coming out.
Oh my god.
I said, look, boys, I was like, end of March, I said, there's going to be 3 Gators sitting at the Heisman finalist table come next year. That's the kind of shit we're going to be telling these people. It's going to be that. Well, Zach, dude, this has been great, man. I think this was better than I thought it could be. I never know what to expect, and this was an absolute. The fact that you came on the show cheesing, I mean, that just,
I'm still cheesing about it.
Yeah. Been geeking for 42 minutes about it. Tell me to give you a follow, man. Plug all your stuff, man, because you've been great, Bubba.
Yeah, you guys follow me at Zach Albaverdi. Go check us out at Gators Online. Hey, football season's over, but still news happening every day over there. We keep you guys in the loop. Interact with us on the board. Anytime. You guys, the squeeze is worth the juice that you're going to get.
You heard it from here first. Zach said we're going 12-0 next year. We'll see you in the Natty. Zach, you be good, man. Right. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Zach.
All right,
much love, man.
Take care.
Go Gators.
Yep.
Hopefully I didn't forget to ask him anything, Harris. You think we got it all?
Man. Yeah. He got me crazy. On edge now. I don't know what. Yeah. What? I got to make some phone calls.
Oh.
I want to know now.
Oh boy. Boys are cooking. Boys are cooking. Boys, we got a couple more things left over. Don't go anywhere. Of course, Steve will be right back.
Going up.
Oop, that's not what I want. Where's what I want? There's what I wanted. Boys and girls, you know what the show is brought to you by. It's the Covers, boys. We've been talking about it this entire week. Okay? It's Christmas week. I want to make sure that you look extra fine this week. I keep wearing the cowboy hat because you see how good I look? That's how good you could look. Not this good, but pretty damn close. Okay? Pretty damn close. When you go to tecovas.com/high top to get yourself either a nice pair of genuine leather boots, the cowboy hat fit. One of my favorite cowboy hats I have. This is my baby. Okay, I protect her at all costs now. I got some shirts from them, which I absolutely love. Fit like a glove. Everything there is just high quality H2O stuff. Absolutely love it. I told you before. If you got one close to you, make the trip. Go into the store. Talking buddy yes or Cam. I said you need to get your ass up in there. Get yourself a nice pair of new ostrich boots and matching belt. Quit playing around. Get after it. Okay. Go to tecovas.com/high top. Sign up for texts and emails to get 10% off. That's tecovas.com/high top. Sign up for emails and texts. Tecovas, point your toes west, boys and girls. We talked about Jack Pyburn. Interesting stuff on the Pyburn stuff, man. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. Like I said, man. I just when you leave, man, just try to stay as quiet as possible, to keep the noise down, because it get messy, man. And I like Pyburn. I like his energy. I like what he stands for. I understand he wants to play. You know what I mean? But some factors you don't get to choose. You know what I mean? And you can't go around trying to choose every factor. You got to go show up. Some years are going to be down. Other years will be great. You don't just get to make them all what you want them to be. And part of that is the coaches. You don't get to choose that. That's levels high above your pay grade. One thing you can do is just show up and go to work. And I believe he did that. I believe he'll do it at LSU.
Yeah.
But we'll be coming for you.
Oh, yeah. It's personal. Come LSU week 3 or week 4.
For sure.
Couple super chats that I missed. Tim Buck says, Austin Rogers, champ. Shelton, thank you all so much. Not getting too deep in it. Champ, you're a real one, and I appreciate you, man. You know what that's for.
Major love. Thank you,
sir,
Austin.
man. Love it too, Austin. Jesse Rollins says, $5. His buddy just dropped a bomb without dropping it. We are still listening. Let him cook. Yeah, that was when Zach was getting nasty with it. That had me in shambles, bro. I thought he was about to drop a name or some shit. $2 after tonight. Let's never mention this guy again. Yeah, look, we're not going to talk about it anymore. And I was already over it. Some people kind of say, hey, when the whole kind of drama went down with Jack Pyburn and his dad on Twitter and all kinds of weather, I was like, I don't care to get into it. But the fact that he went and spoke about it, there was an article written because he spoke on ESPN.
Yeah.
I said, look, now we're still dragging it on. And the fact that we had Zach on, I was like, this is the guy that wrote the original article. I was like, this is the perfect. There's no more like, hey, what was like, let's come from the horse's mouth. So I thought it was a good opportunity to talk about, and that's why I did. So
it was. We got it out of our system. It's all good. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it was closure. It was very healthy for me. Anyways, that's
sure.
how I needed it.
For sure.
Today, Marcus Burke, we already talked about that with Zach leaving. Again, this was expected. There was other names that I thought would be leaving, but this is a long time coming, to be perfectly honest with you. So again, I don't feel like that's outside the two edge plays. TJ Searcy and Pyburn, losing both those guys again was a big let back, but and I think Zach kind of nailed it on the head. I think they're playing a game of like what could happen, and we're seeing again a few guys from Tennessee entered in today, and it looks like they might have their eyes on some guys from other teams that again this thing's going to go well into middle of January of guys being able to come to Florida.
Yeah, you got to play that game though, especially if you're trying to make a run. You want to play that game and wait for a few guys. I believe we're in a position to play that game. Some schools, not so much. You got to take what you can get right away. I believe the way our roster is set up, we can go to war right now and not need anybody else, and we're going to show up. But if you can wait it out and get those few pieces that just take you over the edge a little bit more, why not do it? So I believe we'll do that too.
And we also that commit today, which I don't have the graphic for, but it was Cameron Kosman. They're writing about him kind of being the next diamond in the rough, like basically no star recruit.
Tight end, yeah.
6'6", 240. His film is nice. They roll out for a bubble screen as a tight end every single play. Yeah. But what I saw, he had that Hayden Hansen in him, pulling from the side, hitting the block, running back up the middle. Yeah. I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do. I think this is again why he's so underrated. These things we'll never know why. Play a little defensive end as well. And look, I mean, people are gonna. I meant to ask. That was what I was gonna ask Zach if he's a walk on or a scholarship player. That would be interesting to know.
Yeah, I mean, if the way they offered him and announced it, it seemed like a scholarship to me. They didn't say prefer walk on anything like PWO or nothing like that. But
true.
Just watching his film, he looks great. Most of the time, those stars and stuff, they're looking at competition. School size, 6'8", 3'8", whatever. But people who evaluate are looking at athletic ability. Can you catch the ball? Can you run? How do you move after you catch the ball? And he does that fantastic. I like what I saw.
I did too. I mean, it was honestly like tight end film was kind of whatever, but they utilized him a lot. I mean, he was their guy.
Yeah,
He got speed too.
yeah.
Speed for how
Yeah,
big
for
he
sure.
is. I think he puts
I
on a
was
little
surprised.
more muscle. And he blocked very well. I mean, he was kind of. I mean, look, you could see like, okay, put on some more muscle. I think he could really kind of come into his own guy. 6'6". I mean, you can't teach size. We always say that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see
And
what
he
he can really
played
be.
with good leverage on his blocks. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What was I kind of want to we didn't get to talk about it much. We talked about it on you and I talked privately before we wrap up the show. Again, 800 strong boys. Let's get 300 likes before the show ends.
400 likes, yo, and we need half the
Yes.
viewership and likes. We need 400 likes. Sorry, y'all. So you got to exit the chat, hit the like button to come back. You can't hit the like button while you're in the chat. So just exit the chat, hit like, come right back.
I'm gonna go. I'm sorry. I said it. You and I talked, and people were kind of like frustrated with it not being as sexy and explosive as we all wanted it to be. What were your kind of your thoughts on the game? Give us your synopsis of what you thought and felt.
I like the game because I knew it was going to be a simple game plan, and I just wanted to see us execute it. I knew that we would not that we would put DJ in situations, but that he would be put in situations to where he had to throw in small windows and that they would drop a lot of people in coverage. They knew going into the game that we had the advantage Tulane. They knew that if they went single coverage and didn't cover the deep ball, that we would go after that. And we did. A lot of plays tried to go after it, but they were there. And so that allowed DJ to get to the checkdowns more than what people had seen before and allowed us to utilize the tight ends. So I like that. I like that. Just looking forward to the future. That was a great preparation for us and for DJ to know that, hey, you're going to have these weapons, but you don't have to make the play every game. Get the ball into the guys' hands that where it's supposed to go and let these guys make the play, move the ball down the field methodically. But when we do need you, you can be DJ Lagway. And he's gonna be that guy. We didn't have to use his legs as much. He's still, nursing a hamstring injury. You don't want to re-injure that. So from a game plan standpoint, as a coach, you're not gonna want to do a lot of RPOs if you know he's not gonna be running the ball. So there's a lot of things that we didn't do that we could have did if we were really looking to, try to
Knock
blow this
socks
team
off.
out. But that wasn't what we were there to do. And a lot of guys got some great work. A lot of young guys got to play and put on great tape. So I like that. I like the fact that we used the tight ends a lot more and that he did get to his checkdowns.
I think that was something we talked about before. Again, that's where Mertz kind of it really flourished, is that he would go to the safest route every single time. The check down was the check down king. But we always
Right.
argued that what DJ brings to you is just the ability to kind of pop the lid off when need be. And so, like you
Mm-hmm.
just said, they were kind of like, hey, we want you to go through your progressions, but really focus on trying to not make the big play and almost set him up to not be successful with the big plays and kind of make some mistakes to learn from it. And we talked about that as well, and off on the phone. And I think you make a good point. I don't remember it being too many RPOs. And because, again, the RPO has much more impact when you know that DJ is going to be mobile, which we talked about earlier on in the year. When you know that DJ can move, the whole offense has to take an extra step to watch. They learned,
Yeah.
they saw pretty quickly he's not going anywhere, so it eliminates that, and that kind of caused a factor too. So I loved that. I think it was a growing game, and that was kind of what I said. People were trying to say sucked, and it's like, look, you're looking too much deep into this.
Yeah. We could have tried to just run the ball down their throat and just been more physical than them. But at the end of the day, it's a bowl game. You're not trying to get anybody hurt or they're out for next year or missing any time. It's no offense. We were playing Tulane. We're still the Gators. They're still Tulane. And what we've been doing in the past few games, we have turned the corner. And so we could have just went out there and tried to just totally dominate these guys, but that wouldn't have been fair to the guys on the team that needed to get some playing time. We didn't even start some of the guys. There was no Banks out there. Cam didn't play.
No George.
I might have seen him out there. Yeah. So, people make much about a lot. You know what I mean, and don't know what to look for in certain games. When you know what to look for, then you can look for the progress. But if you just want to see touchdowns and run the score up and
Looking for the wrong
stuff like
things.
that, then you're looking at the wrong thing. You won't see a team that gets better.
Keenan Johnson, $5 says, hey, two things. First, can we start calling this Dirty December? And second, can we just start calling ourselves wide receiver U? Yes and yes.
Yes and yes.
Yes and yes. Keep it short and sweet, baby. Well, I mean, Stephen Harris, I think this was one hell of a champ's corner, my guy.
Yeah, no, fantastic, man. I like Zach getting on there, hinting at stuff and clearing the air about a few other things. So, man, it was dope.
That was very important. The Piper and stuff was great. The portal information was great. Again, just confirming. Again, like I come with my own thoughts and try to process this together, like actually look at it. And so when I haven't talked to Zach or anybody about these things. These are just me watching this thing unfold. And it's like, okay, like logically, how would you approach this situation if you're Florida? And so everyone's getting mad. They're seeing teams like Ole Miss and FSU, and they're spending a lot of money in the portal. Look, they didn't recruit as heavily. They're losing more guys.
They don't have what we have.
So they have to approach it differently. And I think we've learned that FSU did this exact same thing last year. How'd that play out for them? Ole Miss, did they have a more successful season than we did record-wise? Yeah, but we beat them, right? So it's not always the right answer. I think there's just how you go about it. I think a nice, healthy flow of it. And following this team, I've kind of have I would say a pulse or understanding. And whether you like it or not, this is how they function. This is how Billy operates. Utilize knowledge is power, right? And so when you know that, hey, there's these things that could possibly happen, and I've heard this kid's unhappy here. We had a great relationship before he went.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait around for that guy. And that was my thing with the tackle. Go look at the portal. The top 5 guys are gone. I said that the other day.
Yeah.
After that, the next guys that are all there are what Bryce Lovett should or is, if less than, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, who are you going to go get? There's nobody there that's better than Bryce Lovett right now, in my opinion.
When George entered the portal, they had him ranked as the number 3 offensive tackle. They didn't have him at guard. They had him at offensive tackle rated in the portal at number 3 guard. I mean, number 3 offensive tackle. So, and we have him back. So that lets you know that the tackle list is not that great right now. If we're going to get somebody, it has to be one of those guys that possibly thinking about leaving one of these teams that are in the playoffs. Or we're going to use the guys we got, and I'll be just fine with that. You know what I mean? Those guys have been making great strides. But I do want to say this, Sheldon. Vernell, thank you, man. I just want to tell you thank you for the work you're doing. And listen, I didn't mean to blow your cover, man. When you dropped those sunglasses, man, it was just, I know you know what I mean? And I've noticed that you've been putting that behind a lot of your other clients, but I know the real reason why you did it, and you're redeemed now. You're redeemed. We got our guy.
It was cool to hear that insight too about Dallas Wilson and kind of how that thing all shook up at the end there and how he flipped back. So, man, Zach's dropped some bombshells today, boys and girls. If you're just joining, you need to go back and watch. It was one of the best shows we've had in quite some time, just with information. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Look, I know we kind of rag on 3 and those guys. The guys that work, the beat writers, Keith and Zach and Corey Bennett, those guys do great work. I know we got our own little side beef with maybe some of the bigger heads at On 3. But we got to give some love to the local beat writers. And those guys are Gator fans. They bleed the orange and blue. They care about the success. And how maybe sometimes you don't like their tone. I know Keith gets kind of a little flack with his negativity. He's more reserved, right? He's not the Disney Gator-esque. He doesn't want to, because those guys got dragged when they threw their crystal balls in.
It's a tough business, man.
Yeah,
it's a tough business.
They got absolutely bodied when the crystal balls came in for Dallas Wilson on commitment day. So it's a tough world. You want to be right and you want to be accurate, and we live in a world where you gotta toe the line, and it's tough. So,
well, they were right. They just
they were.
It took a little while to get redeemed.
Just a little bit. I love it too that my Santa Bell didn't go to waste either. I thought I jinxed it too, so I'm glad that didn't go to waste. Anthony says this is by far the best Gator focused show. This is fun and silly, dreaming, objective reality, and great talks about life. Hands down the best show. Thank you for this show, Anthony. Thank you for the super chat. $10, man.
Major love.
I appreciate that. Also, too, man, it was really cool. Late, Josh Pate tweeted out, "Hey, who's the best independent creator? Kind of like team-focused creator." My Twitter exploded with people tagging our
give
show.
My man this flowers, man. Give my man Hot Top Sheldon some flowers.
Really cool to see just how many people tagged us in that. And again, I mean, shout out to Josh Pate for putting that tweet, because obviously it just brought more eyeballs. Right, to those smaller creators. So if Josh Pate was looking to see who got the most likes to lose in ping pong, I challenged him years ago. I wear his white t-shirt ass out. So I'll keep it buck. Yeah, I wear a cowboy hat and
Hey,
everything.
something to do over the off season. I'll record it.
I got time. I got time.
We'll
So,
set it up.
Boys and girls, great
crazy
show.
All season games.
Yeah. I love it. Great show, boys and girls. We didn't get to 400 likes. Stephen Harris is going to come drive all your houses and put coal in your stocking. So that's on y'all.
We at 920. We need 450.
I'm telling him. Smash the like button, y'all. I love y'all. Check out the Covas. Go get yourself some boots, some cowboy hats, all the good things. Stephen Harris, ladies and gentlemen, Champs Corner, always a blast. Look, maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe I don't. If I don't, Merry Christmas to all of y'all. Y'all be good.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, man.
Have yourselves a good Christmas
Gators.
Eve. Yeah. We have our own little stuff on Christmas Eve, so I probably won't be back until Thursday, unless some shit
Have
pops.
yourself
Ooh.
a merry little Christmas.
Ooh. I love it. Y'all be good. Peace and love, baby.